Welcome back, I'm Sean, and today we're checking out two high-res portable Bluetooth speakers from Soundcore to compare to see which of these speakers is the right one for you. So let's check it out.
You've been shattered, you've been broken down. Heart is beating, still won't make a sound. It feels like an angel straight from heaven, just like my lucky number 7. You're my shooting star. We're running round in circles. Love feels so invincible. Feel you when there's no one around.
So these two speakers today were sent over to me by Soundcore for review, but this is not a sponsored post and my review will be based on my honest and unbiased opinion. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel and ring the notification bell so you won't miss any future tech reviews. So the first speaker that we're going to check out today is the smallest speaker of the two, the Soundcore Motion 300, coming in at a price point of $79 or around 375 Malaysia ringgit. And the bigger brother, the Soundcore Motion X600, comes in at a price point of $200 or around 942 Malaysia ringgit, but you can now get the X600 at a pre-sale price of $150, which is a fantastic deal. So both of these speakers are aimed for different use cases, so let's take a look at what they aim to do, and if you're interested in buying one, do check out my links below. So let's start off with checking out the design of the Motion 300, and this speaker is targeted specifically for your outdoor adventures and exploration needs, especially awesome if you're bringing out camping or hanging around your backpack for your hikes. So the speaker is mainly made of this smooth rubber finish hard plastic everywhere, so you can see this thing is very well built and it's like a one-piece hard plastic, which is really nice. And at the front of the speaker is also a plastic grille, which is very nicely designed with a cool diagonal shape pattern with the Soundcore logo in the middle. And if you notice, this speaker has rubber feet at the bottom here, as well as the back of the speaker, because this speaker has a cool feature that auto detects the orientation of your speaker, whether it's standing up, lying down, or being hanged. And it will adjust the EQ accordingly to best suit the sound signature for that orientation. So this is what Soundcore calls their Smart Tune technology, which is really nice. So at the top of the speaker is also a bunch of buttons that lights up so it's easy to see them, and all of them are easy to understand along with the Soundcore branding at the top. On the right side of the speaker, this is where you get a flap, and inside it hides only a Type-C charging port, so there is no external auxiliary ports to plug this into the speaker. So on the other side is a fabric loop that you can use to hang the speaker up, and the best part is that this loop can be easily removed just by removing this button. So you can just pluck it open like that and pull the string out, and basically you can remove this strap. So next we're moving on to the Motion X600, and this is slightly bigger, more matured brother of the Motion 300, and it's meant to be a beautiful coffee table style piece that you can control and play music to relax around your house. Unlike the Motion 300, this speaker is designed with mostly metal finish, and the whole build is premium and high quality, and you get this full wraparound metal grille and a metal handle, so this whole thing is metal. It's extremely solid to hold with the Soundcore branding at the top. So if you can see here, there's a subtle Soundcore branding there. So behind the speaker is also a plastic piece that hides some vents around here, and there's also a small rubber flap here that gives you access to a Type-C charging port as well as a 3.5mm auxiliary port, so you can plug this into your high-res files via this port. So at the top of the speaker, this is where you get an upwards firing speaker, as well as a bunch of buttons with LED lights as well to control the speaker. So the main difference here with the buttons is that the bigger X600 comes with a spatial audio button, which is this button right over here, to give you a more surround ultra wide soundstage. So when you activate it, it sounds like super different than when it's not activated. So it sounds very wide. So battery life on the two speaker is very similar despite the X600 being bigger, and due to the additional power at 50 watts, it gives you around 12 hours of playback time, and the smaller Motion 300 comes in with a 13 hours battery life powering the 30 watts output. So of course all this battery life also depends on the volume that you play audio in, so it takes roughly 6 hours to charge the X600 from empty and approximately 4 hours to charge the Motion 300. So volume-wise, these two speakers both have really good volume, and for obvious reasons, the X600 is the louder of the two. And if you really need the louder one that you can still use at your outdoor parties, then the X600 is definitely for you. But the Motion 300 is not too bad itself, and if you need that volume in more rugged build quality, then the Motion 300 is for you. So let's start with the X600. And the good thing here is that on my DAP, you can max out the volume on the speaker without affecting the player's volume. So I can get to a comfortable listening volume at only 15% volume, which is really good, and I get to a loud volume for personal consumption in my studio at around 30%, which is insanely impressive. And I think you're not going to find much problem using this speaker for an outdoor party purpose, and this speaker has plenty of power to spare. With the Motion 300, I get to a same comfortable listening volume at around 20%, and to that same loud volume as the X600 at 80% volume. So you definitely see the stark contrast there in terms of power, where the X600 has significantly more power, but the Motion 300 is not a slouch and can definitely power your outdoor adventures with no problems. So both of these speakers comes with really great features and technologies that make them really appealing speakers to own. And with both of them, you're getting a Bluetooth 5.3 chipset that supports the LDAC codec, AAC, and SPC codec. So do take note that in order for you to enjoy the LDAC codec, you first need a compatible Android device that supports LDAC, also supports the Soundcore app. Because using my Sony DAP Android player, it supports LDAC, but it cannot download the Soundcore app, and hence I can't enable it until I use a Samsung Android phone to enable the settings. But the good news is that as long as you enable this once, you don't have to go back and enable it another time. So secondly, both of these speakers support an IPX7 water resistant rating, and although the X600 is more suited to be used in your beautiful home, the speaker can actually survive any outdoor party situation, and even if it rains, you don't have to worry about it, and this also applies to the Motion 300. So one key feature that the X600 has is this spatial audio support, and it's a physical button that you can enable or disable on the speaker itself, which is very convenient, and it immediately widens the soundstage of the sound to a more like live surround sound experience. And the Motion X600 comes with 5 speaker setup as well, including 2 woofers at the front, 2 tweeters at the front, as well as a full range driver that points up. Smaller Motion 300 comes with 2 full range drivers as well as a passive radiator in the middle of the speaker. So both of these speakers are high-res audio wireless certified thanks to the LDAC codec support, but only the X600 supports wired high-res audio via the 3.5mm auxiliary port. And the X600 also comes rated with a THD or total harmonics distortion of less than 0.1%, which is pretty low for a Bluetooth speaker, which is usually not even rated with any THD. And finally, there is multi-point connectivity supported on both of these devices, and they work really fast switching between devices, but when you enable LDAC support in the app, both of the speakers will disable the multi-point capability. So the Soundcore app is pretty standard between the two devices, and I'll be talking through both of these apps together since they are very similar. And at the homepage here, you're going to get a beautiful picture of your new speakers, both the Motion X600 and Motion 300 in the color of your choice. And both comes with a tiny battery level at the top of the screen that you wouldn't really know what percentage battery you have left. So one day you'll be seeing it white color, half, and then the next day it'll be red, so you won't really know. So below that is a play or pause button, and it doesn't give you extra playback options, and you also get a volume slider here and also the equalizer selector, so which lets you choose between 5 presets and also custom 9-band equalizer. And as for the Motion 300, you're getting a more complex EQ control, which includes 4 presets, but you also get the adaptive direction setting to detect if the speaker is standing, lying down, or being hung. So you can also set it to give you different custom EQ in different orientation, and this is where you can access that 9-band EQ. So under the settings, this is where you will be able to adjust the LDAC support if you're on a compatible Android device, and you also get settings for your buttons brightness, auto power off, and also to update the firmware. So that's pretty much what you get with the Soundcore app. So let's start with the sound signature of the Motion 300, and this small speaker provides you with a lot of power and audio performance, and Soundcore says that this speaker is the tiniest portable speaker that is high-res audio wireless certified. So I think to some extent it lives up to the expectation. However, I think you still need to adjust your expectation a little bit, as this is not your typical high-res audio speaker, big set of speakers that you have in your audiophile setup, and it's still designed as a portable, small Bluetooth speaker first. So sound quality wise, using this at the Soundcore signature EQ with LDAC codec on my DAP with high-res FLAC files, this is what you get. I noticed that overall you get a somewhat dynamic sound signature, but definitely more towards the slightly muffling end of the spectrum. So bass is decently rumbly but not as punchy. Again, please tune your expectation to a smaller speaker. The mid vocals on this speaker can be a little bit more refined, and I feel it is the signature that is contributing to that muffled sound signature. And don't get me wrong, you're still going to enjoy this speaker. I'm just describing the sound signature so you get a better expectation. And the highs here is clear, but not the sharpest or crispest that I've heard on a speaker of this caliber. And I know that I got everything right because I used the right files, the right codec, and Soundcore's very own signature EQ. So with the same parameters set up for the Motion X600, I hear a much more polished sound quality. And I especially love the extra bass EQ with the X600 without making the speaker sounding muffled, thanks to the additional woofers and tweeters to get all the separation of frequencies that you need. So you're definitely getting a more high-res signature with this, where it's dynamic but still high resolution. And from the bass performance perspective, you're getting again that rumbly bass signature, and this time it also thumbs better and fuller than the smaller Motion 300. So in my test, mid-range vocals can also still get a bit of help, but it's still not the standout frequency in my opinion, and it does sound a little bit behind the other instruments, but it's miles ahead compared to the mid-range quality of the Motion 300. But if you like a brighter sounding highs, then the X600 will deliver, because this speaker comes with a very great sounding highs with crisp cymbals and timbres across the frequencies. So overall, these two speakers have big sound, no doubt about that, but I still think that Soundcore could have delivered that high-res audio a little bit better in my opinion. I'm not so much of a fan of this tuning, and I would still pick both of these speakers up for my hikes and also for my music in my living room. However, I wouldn't bang too much on that high-res audio performance for both of these speakers.
Feeling like I'm second best, someone that you could forget. Got me drinking that feeling, sinking in this feeling.
So this is a test to see if the Soundcore Motion 300 is a good speaker for making phone calls. So this is me speaking in a relatively quiet environment, and this is the call quality that you can expect. So what I'm going to do now is to turn on a simulated background noise so you can hear a difference. So now there's a simulated background noise playing in the background, and this is the call quality that you can expect from the speaker. So this is a test to see if the Soundcore Motion X600 is a good speaker for making phone calls. So this is me speaking in a relatively quiet environment, and this is the call quality that you can expect. So what I'm going to do now is to turn on a simulated background noise so you can hear a difference. So now there's a simulated background noise playing in the background, and this is the call quality that you can expect from this speaker. So what do you think of the call quality? Let me know in the comment section down below. So latency performance on these two speakers are pretty similar, and although there is no gaming mode, I'm getting pretty good performance, and it looks to be around the 80 to 100 milliseconds latency range, which is pretty good for a speaker like that. So playing PUBG in real life, you're not going to see much lag, and watching movies and videos on this is also good. So let's take a look at the latency performance of these speakers. So which of these speakers do you like the best? I really love portability, and I like the adaptive orientation sound signature of the Motion 300, and I'll definitely bring it for my camping trips and also my hiking trips. The Motion X600 is a classic beautiful piece I would like to have around my living room that I can just play some nice melodies when I have friends over, and both are still great speakers overall until you start nitpicking on that high-res audio sound quality. So that is it for this review. If you find this video helpful, smash the thumbs up button, share this video everywhere. If you haven't yet subscribed, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.